For he will give his angels charge over you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91:11. Why do angels use swords? Throughout the Bible, we can find some passages where angels are spoken of as beings of light, kind, beautiful, and majestic. But it is also common to see these beings wielding swords, wearing armor, trampling demons, or fighting evil. We know that angels can take different forms, from winged entities with thousands of eyes to incorporeal beings that protect human beings. Angels can take any form they wish. And it is perhaps because of this ability that some of them, they are often seen wearing warlike robes with airs of grandeur and aggression. Did you know that God has his guardian angels? They are the chosen ones. They possess great power. They execute the divine will. And I am the DoQmentalist, and this is the Guardians of God. It turns out that throughout the Bible we can find different types of guardians of God. And the first type is one of the most fascinating. The Guardians of Eden. Genesis 3:24. So he drove out the man and placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim, and a flaming sword that turned every way, to keep the way of the tree of life. God placed a type of guardian angel known as cherubim, said to have placed them at the entrance of Eden, so that no human being could access the tree of life. Only those who can overcome their human state and elevate their spirit sufficiently will be able to access Eden and eat from the tree of life to be eternal. The Guardians of the Ark. It is said that when God sent the Israelites to build the ark, he gave precise instructions for its construction. One of these instructions was to place 2 golden angels on top of the ark, as if they were guarding it. Exodus 25:18 through 22. You shall also make 2 cherubim of gold. Carved with hammers you shall make them at the 2 ends of the mercy seat. So you shall make a cherub at one end and a cherub at the other end. You shall make the cherubim at the 2 ends of the mercy seat in one piece with the mercy seat. And the cherubim shall spread out their wings above, covering the mercy seat with their wings, their faces one against the other, and the faces of the cherubim shall look toward the mercy seat. And from there I will declare to you, and will speak to you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim which are upon the ark of the testimony, all that I will command you for the children of Israel. It is said that these guardian angels protected the ark from those who would seek to steal it or see what was inside. And according to certain biblical accounts, anyone who touched the ark died instantly. The guardian of the people of God. We all know the quintessential angel, the one who defended the throne of God and drove out the rebellious angels, the Archangel Michael. It turns out that this is not only a warrior angel but also a protective guardian. Let's see. At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was, since there was a nation even to that time. But at that time thy people shall be delivered, all they that are found written in the book. Nevertheless, the prince of the kingdom of Persia opposed me for 21 days. But behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Then there was a great battle in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. Daniel 12:1, Daniel 10:13, Revelation 12:7. The Archangel Michael is thus one of the most important angels in the Bible, whose function is to protect, lead, and be the guardian of God's people. The guardian of the wilderness. As we said at the beginning, angels can take various forms and appearances, from knights with golden armor and heavenly wings, to clouds and whirlwinds of fire that protect and guide humans. As happened in the wilderness when the Israelites were on their way to the Red Sea, while the Egyptian army pursued them. The Bible says that the angel of God and the pillar of cloud protected the Israelites, separating them from the Egyptian army as they advanced towards the sea. Exodus 14:19-20. And the angel of God, who went before the camp of Israel, departed and went after them. And likewise the pillar of cloud that went before them departed and stood behind them. And it went between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and darkness for them, and it gave light to Israel by night. And all that night they did not come near one another. The Guardians of Sodom. Here is a very clear example of how angels too can take on human forms. While Lot was in Sodom, two angels came. They were divine men, sent from God to warn Lot of the impending destruction of that sin-stricken city. And then these men, who were actually angels, helped Lot and his family to escape from Sodom before the destruction. Let's see. Genesis 19:1-2. So the two angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting at the gate of Sodom. And when Lot saw them, he rose up to meet them and bowed himself to the ground and said, "Now, my lords, I pray you, come into your servant's house and lodge, and wash your feet, and in the morning rise up and go your way." And they said, "No, we will stay in the street tonight." Genesis 19:15-17. And it came to pass at the break of day that the angels hastened Lot, saying, "Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters that are here, lest thou perish in the punishment of the city." And when he stood still, the men laid hold on his hand, and on the hand of his wife, and on the hand of his 2 daughters, according to the mercy of the Lord toward him, and brought him out, and set him without the city. And when they had led them out, they said, "Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all this plain. Escape to the mountain, lest you perish." The Guardian of Jesus. When Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane shortly before his arrest, Jesus began to pray. He was overwhelmed with anguish because of the suffering he knew was coming. As he prayed intensely, His emotions were so heightened that, according to Luke's Gospel, his sweat fell to the ground like drops of blood. At this moment of great vulnerability and suffering, a guardian angel sent by God appeared. Luke 22:40-45. And when he came to that place, he said to them, "Pray that you may not enter into temptation." And he departed from them about a stone's throw away. And he kneeled down and prayed, saying, "Father, if thou be willing, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done." And there appeared to him an angel from heaven to strengthen him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was as it were great drops of blood falling down to the ground. And when he arose from prayer and came to his disciples, he found them sleeping for sorrow. The keeper of the prison. Herod had arrested the Apostle Peter and imprisoned him with the intention of executing him. Peter was placed under strict surveillance, guarded by several guards and chained inside the prison. But the people were concerned for Peter and prayed fervently for his release. Soon, their prayers were answered. An angel of God was sent to rescue Peter in a miraculous way. Acts 12:7-10. And behold, there appeared an angel of the Lord, and a light shined in the prison, and he touched Peter on the side and awoke him, saying, "Arise quickly." And the chains fell off from his hands. And passing over the first and the second watch, they came to the iron gate that leads to the city, which opened to them of its own accord. As we can see, we are presented with several stories in the Bible about how angels fulfill the role of God's guardians, intervening relentlessly and decisively, from the cherubim in Eden, preventing access to the tree of life, to the Archangel Michael, leading the heavenly battle. These beings not only protect the sacred, but also defend those who are under divine protection. Whether freeing Peter from prison or strengthening Jesus in Gethsemane, angels, acting as executors of the divine will, are the tireless defenders of God's plan. And I am the DoQmentalist, and this was the Guardians of God.